you have to actually state that. At pag when you verify na there's something to be changed, immediately dapat i-correct mo agad yun. At napanggit naman po ni Mr. Abogado, marunong po siya ngayon, sabi po niya that the right of a person stops when the rights of the other person begin. So kung sira na po ng puri at saka yung ginagawa po natin, I think that's where our responsibility ay mananaig po dapat. Hindi po basta-basta tira tayo ng tira, dapat we also have to see if number one, we're factual and if the rights of the other person is already finished off.
Po, Mr. Chair, marami pong salamat.
Maraming salamat po.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Kung Mordado, pakilaksan lang po konti. Medyo mahina po ang nandito.
Hello, Mr. Chairman.
And okay na po. Please proceed po.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, the discussion of whether ABS-CBN has violated the stipulations of its franchise and whether it will be allowed to get a new franchise to operate seems to have become a long-grown issue. But with all the allegations laid out before us, we still go back to the biggest, if not the most important issue, that the broadcasting company is guilty of biased reporting. But Mr. Chairman, can journalism be truly and completely free of bias? As human beings, our way of thinking and perceiving and our understanding of the world are inherently influenced by the kind of culture, environment, and society we grew up in. These factors affect how we come to our decisions and our judgment almost unconsciously. Therefore, even though a journalist strives to remove all impartiality in delivering news and information to the public, personal judgment shaped by these elements still play an integral part in deciding how to present the news and information, however unconsciously. And if that were the case, Mr. Chairman, then ABS-CBN is just as guilty as any other media network whose news reports are an amalgamation of information, details, and facts that their journalists have decided to include or omit. The American Press Institute, Mr. Chairman, recognizes the inevitability of bias in journalism, stating that in the right circumstance, bias need not be a bad thing. It can help make information more understandable, lending humanity to facts, and even prompting to right a wrong. It is therefore important for journalists to not only acknowledge its existence, but also to learn how to manage it through remaining objective in testing data and materials so as not to let their biases undermine the accuracy of their work. Mr. Chairman, it has been more than 2 months since the screens of ABS-CBN have gone dark, something that has not happened since 1972. Still, the discourse on whether the company is indeed guilty of the alleged violations thrown its way seems to be nowhere near over. It is within reason, Mr. Chairman, that we exercise due diligence in our scrutiny. But as ABS-CBN is being condemned for preference and prejudice, we must also be careful to ensure that personal biases are not coming into play. Mr. Chairman, it is easy to turn to the word bias when a particular report is unsavory or disagreeable. But it is the job of the media, as a fundamental part of the democratic society, to bridge the gap between the government and the Filipino masses by providing timely and accurate information, no matter how hard it is to stomach. More so, it is the media's duty to be an avenue where the public may freely relay their concerns, needs, ideas, and criticisms. And if in this rigorous and prolonged headlock we currently have with ABS-CBN, which has time and again refuted and disproved the allegations of violations thrown against it, we are keeping the broadcasting company from doing its duty to the Filipino people. Then we, as representatives of our constituents and of the whole country, practically fail to do ours. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Maraming salamat po, Congressman Bordado. Susunod.
Nais ko mong tanongin si Mr. Carlo Katigbak. Ito bang hearing natin ngayon, itong nakaraan ng mga hearing, pang-11 na ho ito, Mr. Chairman, no?
Pang-12 na po.
12 na ho, no? Ano ho kayo ng issue ng press freedom sa pag-report niyo ho ng proceedings dito, would you say na balansyado kayo, bias kayo, fair kayo? Ano ang description niyo sa inyong coverage ng ating proceedings? Ano ang description niyo sa inyong coverage?
Mr. Chair,
Ng ating proceedings
fair and balanced.
Kasi hindi ko nakita yan eh. Ako sa Google feed. Ang Google kasi, mayroon silang metrics, yung gusto mong basahin, lumalabas. Binabasa ko lahat ng ABS-CBN feed sa Google. At wala ko nakitang balansyado. Ang mga kagaya ho, ng example, citizenship. Ang inyong Gabi Lopez is 100% Filipino. Hindi nyo naman sinabi siya American citizen. Tapos pagdating mo sa PDR, totally legal. Hindi nyo naman sinabi na may nakikita kaming problema. Pagdating po sa Ankara, sabi nyo meron kayong black time arrangement na ito ay dahilan na hindi dapat isarado ang TV+. Ngayon, tatanungin ko sa inyo, was there a balanced way of reporting it or was it really from the perspective of ABS-CBN?
Mr. Chair, with your permission, can I ask Ms. Jing Reyes to answer that po?
Ms. Jing Reyes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, malawakan po talaga yung naging coverage namin sa franchise hearings dahil unang-una, historic po ito at marami na talagang araw ang ginugol ng institusyong ito sa issue ng prangkisa. Sinisiguro ko po sa inyo, 4 halos ang news teams na nakabantay po sa hearing. At sa loob ng TV Patrol, ang aming flagship news program, ilang beses po naming inilalabas ang mga highlights ng franchise hearing. At lagi pong naroroon ang akusasyon laban sa ABS, ang sagot. So, andun po lahat ang pinakamahalagang bahagi na na-discuss at natatalakay dito sa ating mga hearings, Your Honor. Gayon din po sa iba naming natitira pang plataforma sa pagbabalita. Ganon din po sa DZMM.
Ang sinasabi nyo, totally fair ang inyong coverage ng hearing na to. Na lahat ng nangyari dito, inilabas nyo talaga. Yan po sinasabi nyo sa amin.
Yes, Your Honor. Kayo po ay palaging naroon sa aming pagbabalita kahit na po ang inyong maraming posisyon ay hindi pabor sa ABS-CBN, Your Honor.
Kasi ano ko iba ho sa karanasan ang inyong sinasabi, pero hindi na rin ako mapakahaba dito. Kasi ang issue ho rito talaga, pagkatapos mo itong issue to, sabihin natin, example, nabira kayo ng prangkisa, may issue pa ba ng press freedom?
Your Honor, naniniwala naman po kami na ang issue ng press freedom ay dala o naging epekto ng CDO na pinatupad ng NTC noong May 5, Your Honor.
Bakit meron ba ho kayong prangkisa na iaharap sa akin na pwedeng gamitin para kayo mag-broadcast? O pag kayo po'y tinigil pa, press freedom na ho ang inyong issue?
Alam po naman po na may iba pang issue, Your Honor. Gayunman, hindi rin po natin maikakaila na nagkaroon din naman ng chilling effect yung CDO na pinatupad ng NTC.
Chilling effect ang sinasabi nyo. Ang tinatanong ko ho dito ay nung tumigil ang TV Plus sa pag-broadcast, ang problema ho rito kasi, no franchise, no broadcast. Bakit nyo nasabi na press freedom ang issue? Ang pinag-uusapan po, yung prangkisa. Ano ho yung kinalaman ng press freedom sa prangkisa na nag-expire na wala ho ang ABS-CBN ngayon? Ano ang kinalaman ng press freedom doon?
Your Honor, totoo po na broadcast kami o narrowcast kung inyong marapatin dahil yun po ang tawag sa cable. No? Pero hindi rin naman po natin maitatatawa o maitatanggi na ang ideya po ng press freedom, ang pagpapractice po ng press freedom ay hindi lamang para sa aming mga journalists. Lahat po ng mamamayan ay nakikinabang po dito. At ito po ang aking paninindigan na nung naputol po ang aming koneksyon sa malaking audience ng Channel 2 at DZMM, naapektuhan din po ang kalayaan sa pamamahayag dahil hindi na po kami na-access ng maraming manonood. Your Honor.
Ngunit, nakapag-broadcast natuloy naman ang cable nyo, yung internet platform. Ang nawala lang naman sa inyo, di ba, yung airwaves na patrimonial property of the state na kasama sa pagbibigay ng prangkisa, na kasamang frequency na binibigay ng NTC pag kayo po ay may certificate of public convenience and necessity. Mali ho yun, tama ho?
Yes, Your Honor. However, may I just explain na meron din naman pong ibang na paso ang prangkisa at pending pa po ang renewal. Pero
pinaliwanag ko na ho yan.
Masarap.
Ang sabi ho namin kay Congresswoman Virago, kung meron siyang problema sa prangkisang paso na pinayagan, ireklamo lang. Ngayon, immediately yung committee ho, gagawin ang trabaho niya. Nalala mo yun, Mitch? Yeah, may dala siyang sulat, might as well, di ba? Pero ang tinatanong ko nga sa inyo, kaya sabi ko nga sa kanya, tsaka alam naman ang lahat yon. Pag may reklamo, tutuluyan namin. Pag wala akong reklamo, ano magagawa namin? On our own, we'll hand down everybody. Hindi ho namin trabaho yun. Ang trabaho ho namin ito gumawa ng batas. Nagkataon, kung may pasong prangkisa, hindi ho pinaalam sa amin.
Congressman Remulla, sa pagkakaalala po ng isa sa mga chairman ng joint committee ito, ay ibinigay ko na po ang assurance kay Congresswoman Mickey Biolago na yung po kanyang mga nasabi niya na may pasong prangkisa ay susunod na pag-aaralan ng committee ito. At inaasahan po natin na magkakaroon din ng mga susunod na hearing ukol naman po sa ihahain ni Congresswoman Mickey Villago na House Resolution.
O dito lang natin ang usapan, Ms. Reyes, no? Kasi mamaya ho, syempre, ang tanong natin dito, pag kayo ba hindi nakakuha ng prangkisa, press freedom issue ba ho ito?
Maaaring yan po ang maging paninindigan ng mga mamamahayag, Your Honor.
Paano ho naging press freedom issue yun? Eh kung tinimbang ka, ulit kulang, ano hong gagawin namin? Sasabihin namin, sapat pa rin ang timba, kahit kulang?
Your Honor, may you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Ika nga ho, sa Tagalog, tayo naman yun, marunong mag-Pilipino no? Pag sinabing tinimbang ka, ulit kulang, you were weighed and you were found wanting. Yan po ay isa sa mga desisyon na posible sa committee ito. Kayo po ay dumadaan tayo ngayon sa isang proseso na sinuscrutinize sa inyong prangkisa, pinag-aaralan. Kung sabihin namin na o makita ho ng committee na meron kayong pagkukulang at marahil ay hindi mo na dapat bigyan ng prangkisa. Ito ba yung press freedom issue?
Naninindigan po ako na magiging kabahagi niyan ang issue ng malayang pamamahayag, Your Honor.
Kaya ang sinasabi nyo, pag nabigyan kayo ng prangkisa, walang issue ng press freedom. Pag hindi kayo nabigyan ng prangkisa, masama ka na violate kami ng press freedom. Yun po yung blackmail nyo sa amin.
I am not blackmailing this honorable body, Your Honor.
Ano ang tawag nyo ron? Kasi narinig ko na kagad. Sabihin natin, hindi tayo matuloy sa pagbibigay ng prangkisa, babanatan nyo kami. Ganun po yun.
No, Your Honor. Hindi po namin kayo babanatan. Sasabihin lang po namin kung ano ang magiging outcome ng hearings ng Congress.
Kasi siyempre sa karanasan po namin, ako po ay malapit na mag-senior citizen At since 1987, kaya memorable po sa akin yan, ako po ay kumuha ng bar noong 1987. Graduate po ako ng College of Law sa UP, kumuha ako ng bar. At yun din yung panahon na bumalik ang ABS-CBN sa ere after martial law. Ang nakalata ko lang po, sinabi ko sa sulat ko to, sa aking post sa internet, sa Facebook, 33 taon. Sinabi ko kay Mr. Mark Lopez to, 33 years na ho, walang tigil ho kayong tirahin nyo ang gobyerno, ang kongreso, kung sino man. Ang tawag nyo nga sa congressman, di ba ho? Ms. Jing, di ba nyo narinig yun sa mga tao nyo na ganun ho ang trato sa kongreso ng inyong news department at sa inyong public affairs programs? Lagi hong inaalipusta ang imahe ng public servants?
Your Honor, malaki po ang respeto po sa mga tao sa gobyerno. Like journalism, politics, and being public servants is a noble calling. At malaki po ang resources na we devote a big number of our resources to covering government institutions and agencies. Hindi po namin kayong hinahamak o nilalait or ridicule, Your Honor.
Ang sarap po pakinggan yan Pero sa karanasan namin, parang malayo po sa totoo teleserye o Biscori, sabihin mo sa akin, kumahubo kami na ehemplo ng kasamaan. Ano ba ho ang nakain namin o pinakita namin sa inyo na para ang lahat po na naglilingkod sa bayan ay in the service of the Filipino people, ABS-CBN na lang, at yung mga government official, lahat abusado. Bakit po gano'n ang pinalalabas sa ABS-CBN?
Your Honor, will you allow me to answer?
Opo, kaya tinatanong kayo
Your Honor, with all due respect, hindi po lahat ng aming mga kontrabanda ay masasamang government official. Marami po kaming mabubuti. Ako sa iyo, isa pa lamang, and these are roles of mayors, governors, congressmen po. Ang isang character po na di mabuti, to place the role of a government official, is in no way po a representation of government officials in real life, Your Honor. With due respect po, Your Honor, marami po kaming mga nanay sa mga teleserye na nang-aapi ng mga adopted children. Pero hindi po ibig sabihin na lahat ng nanay po sa mundo ay mang-aapi na ng adopted children or the real children in real life.
Mr.
Ito po,
Chairman,
Your Honor.
ang issue kasi rito, ang nakikita ko, na dapat mapag-usapan talaga. Itong bias kasi, ang problema, dahil may mind control po, may control po sa utak ng tao, ang mass media. Kaya sa ating saligang batas, kung ito ibinuo ng mga nauna sa atin, sa mga framers ng ating constitution, ang sinabi na mahigpit ng ating framers ng constitution, mass media should be owned and controlled by Filipinos. Isa pa lang ho yan. Meron po akong sinasabi, Congress shall by law prohibit monopolies in mass media. Ang ibig sabihin, nung sa mga debate ho ng Constitutional Commission, lagi ho nila iniisip ang impluwensya ng mass media sa pag-iisip ng taong bayan. Yung po ang responsibility ng isang network. And this is a great power that you wield that will just make or break the Filipino. And lumalabas po kasi dito, pag very powerful po kayo, para hong wala nang tigil na inaalipusta na lang ang mga opisyal ng gobyerno, ang mga mamamayan, yung mga government workers. Marami ho. Yung bang, kagaya sinabi nyo kanila, lagi kayong may fair reporting. Lagi nyo kung kinukuha yung kabilang side. Ang question, do you even air them? Kasi marami na ho kayo nasaktan ng tao. Alam niyo ba ho yun o hindi?
Yung tungkol sa pag-alipista sa tao sa gobyerno ay hindi po yan ang aming trabaho. Kung magkataon man lang po na hindi maganda ang aming coverage sa ibang opisyal, ito po ay dahil sa factual basis na nakikita ng aming mga mamamahayag at hindi lamang po ng ABS-CBN, Your Honor. We uncover wrongdoing in
Sige,
many
sige.
places.
Ano tayo? Huwag na natin paikutin masyado. No? Kasi nagbubulahan na tayo rito eh. Yung mga PR spin na pumapasok sa iyong news and public affairs, wala ka bang idea ron? Ano meron ka idea?
Ano po yun, Your Honor?
PR,
PR.
public relations spin, ng mga spin doctors. Alam mo yun o hindi?
We guard against those, Your Honor, but we are aware that there are PR people, spin doctors, if you will, who try to request our anchors or some of our journalists to...
Tanungin kita, yes or no lang, isang beses lang ha. Has ABS-CBN ever done a spin on a story na may nasaktan kayo mga tao at yung taong yun ay hindi nyo na na-air yung storya, yung side niya na storya? Yes or no? I mean, or meron ba ho? Wala. Meron ba ho ang pangyayari na yung spin doctor nyo, binanatan ng tao, sinubukang makipag-usap, sinubukang magpaliwanag, hindi nyo ho pinagpaliwanag? Meron ba ho?
No. We
Never
always
happened,
air.
ma'am?
We always air the side of...
Never happened? Absolutely certain that you've always aired the side of the other side of the story? Absolutely?
Your Honor, there are times when the other side is not aired because they refuse to be interviewed or they refuse to give us a
That is my point.
That is happening not only to ABS-CBN.
It's around the world.
other media.
It's around the world. Worldwide too eh. The unbridled power of mass media. Vis-a-vis all other institutions that people, that the world has. Mawa sa bansa natin, we have the executive, the legislative, judiciary, and we have mass media. That's basically the fourth branch of government. Would you agree with me, Mr. Chairman? Would you agree with me, Mr. Katigbak, that probably the fourth estate, mass media, is more powerful than government itself?
I don't think we're more powerful than government, Your Honor. In fact, that's why we're here today. Because I understand that our future is in the hands of the government, in the hands of the legislature.
Ang ano ko kasi, when we look at this issue, at pinag-iisipan po natin how heavy this will weigh on all of us, we look at the country as a whole and the country in the future and how we have become from 1987 till now. Ginagawa ko 87 kasi for the past 25 years, kayo ho yung pinaka-monolith eh. You're the biggest organization sa buong Pilipinas on mass media. Di ba tama naman ho yun? The Philippines' largest network. Tama ho?
Tama po.
So, ang reminder ko nga, napakabigat ho ng responsibility ng mass media sa bansa natin. The way that people think, kung ano na uuso, kung ano sayaw na bago, kung ano ang trending, puro na lang mass media nagdadala. Tama ho o mali?
Mr. Chair, allow me lang to say a few words, please. The last 11 days po, the last 11 weeks, napakinggan po namin ang lahat ng, sa tingin niyo po, tingin po ng Kongreso, ang mga pagkukulang po ng ABS-CBN. Kami ni Mark po, we have been here 3-4 years maybe. At hindi po namin kayang sagutin ang mga nangyari before our time. Pero hindi rin kami arrogante na hindi po nakikinig sa mga sinasabi ninyo. Alam po namin na maraming kailangan ayusin, i-reform sa ABS-CBN. At handa po kaming gawin lahat yan. Mabigyan lang po ng pagkakataong ituloy ang operation po ng ABS-CBN.
Shout out to you, Ma'am
To the extent
Salita.
po, Mr. Katigbak, na aamin
Sige
ba kayo
po,
sa
baba
mga
na lang ng
pagkakamali
bahay.
na nakikita ng komite ito? Aamin ba kayo? Aaminin niyo ba na talaga nagkamali kayo sa ilang bagay na dapat talaga hindi niyo ginawa, na talaga nakasama sa bansang ito?
Meron kaming tatanggapin na pagkukulang po, pero sinasabi ko namin wala
Ma'am
po kaming
Salita,
nilalaman.
tatambay ka ba? So
Nga
I
po eh,
can
no?
give you
Saan ka na wala
WH.
kayong nakikita mali sa ginawa ko ng ABS-CBN?
Wala po. Sa tingin po namin wala.
Nag-post po itong isang, anong pangalan nun? Engineer. Anong pangalan ng engineer?
Jeff Canoy.
Jeff Canoy, ABS-CBN engineer. Nag-post siya. Malungkot siyang pinapatay niya yung signal ng TV Plus ng June 30. Anong signal na
Excuse
pinapatay niya?
me, Congressman Remulla.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Ang engineer po ay si
Ma'am Salita?
Romeo Andok Jr.
Andyan ka pa?
Ang nag-report nito ay si Jeff Canoy, isang reporter ng ABS-CBN.
Gusto mo bang makinig muna na news? Ipi-play ko ang ano mo? Playlist mo? Bigyan kita ng WH?
Pero, di ba ho ang kara dapat yon? Hindi ho ABS-CBN dapat na nagpapatay nun?
Your Honor, if you allow me to answer. Mr. Chair, yung pagpatay ho kasi ng transmitter nung araw na yon, may mga remote kami na transmitters which require physical person to visit those sites in order to
andito
shut
pa po
down
ba
the
si Ma'am Salita?
transmitters. And at that point, there were some limitations in being able to do it in a much quicker time. No? So yung napag-usapan doon was that we would shut it off from ABS-CBN.
Hello, shout
because
out
we
to
have
Ma'am
the
Salita
capability to shut it off,
channel.
Quickly. So yun ang naging decision at that point po.
Ano mo to Mr. Lopez, Mr. Katigbak, one lie will not cure another. Ito kasi, ang sabi nyo, ang kara na ho, ang nag-broadcast sa signal nyo. Huli namin natin. Totoo ba yun o hindi?
Totoo po.
Amgara na ang nagba-broadcast. Sino na ba may-ari ng lahat ng transmitter na gumagana sa kanilang panig ng mundo?
Yung equipment po, I think that's the one yung napag-usapan ho, which is still in the process of being transferred. But we are also...
Pero hindi ba nalilipat?
Hindi pa po.
Ang may-ari pa rin ABS-CBN pa rin.
Yes.
Ang lumalabas, nagba-block time kayo sa sarili nyo.
Hindi po. Yes, kasi ho, the NTC originally assigned channel 43 for the use of...
Sino may-ari ng channel 43? Sino may-ari ng frequency?
Amkara po, channel 43.
Hindi. May-ari ng frequency, taong bayan. Tama ho, mali?
Tama po. It's assigned to...
Pag inassign ng NTC yan, hindi na may-ari niya channel 43. Inassign ng NTC sa ABS-CBN. Tama ho, mali? I think may problema yung microphone niya.
Sorry po, can I request the question?
Di ba, tinatanong ko sa inyo, sino may-ari ng frequency ng channel 43?
Well, it's assigned to Amkara po.
Assigned to Ankara before inassign sa ABS-CBN ng NTC through the provisional authority. Tama ho, mali? Through the provisional authority, imbis na Ankara may-ari, binigay na pinagamit na ng NTC sa ABS-CBN yung frequency ng channel 43. Am I correct?
Your Honor, can I request Attorney Uy to answer the question?
Mr. Chairman, the NTC assigned channel 43 to ABS-CBN for the simulcast.
Assign the frequency of channel 43 or channel 43.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair.
Ano ba yung inassign sa inyo? Channel 43 or frequency of channel 43? Magkaiba ho yun eh.
I don't know the
Channel
difference.
43 is a frequency. Are we saying that? If we're speaking the same language, I will accede to that. Is channel 43 a frequency or a channel or a station? Para ma-distinguish po natin, para malinaw po sa isip ng taong bayan.
It's a frequency, Mr. Chair.
Oh, channel 43 is a frequency. Sino may-ari ng frequency? Attorney.
The state, Mr. Chair.
Oh, taong bayan, the state, taong bayan na may-ari ng frequency. Di ba? So under the provisional authority issued on May 14, 2019, inassign ng NTC sa Channel 2, sa ABS-CBN, case number 87-006, provisional authority, inassign po yung frequency, Channel 43, sa ABS-CBN para mag-digital kayo. Correct?
Mr. Chairman, yes, that was stated in the provisional authority granted to ABS-CBN. However, Channel 43 was assigned to ABS-CBN even before then, Mr. Chair.
And, Attorney, remember, when this was assigned, the NTC was still under the impression, hindi pa nawawala yung impression ng NTC. Hanggang ngayon yata, hindi pa nawawala. Na magkapatid po, sister stations po, ang ABS-CBN at ang Ankara. Kasi naging subsidiary niyo siya for 24 years. Am I correct? 24 years nyo naging subsidiary ang Ankara or 23?
ABS-CBN had shareholdings in Ankara for that period, Mr. Chair.
For 23 years, 49%.
Mr. Chairman, yes, Mr.
Yes,
Chair.
yes.
Yes, Congressman Defensor.
With the indulgence of Honorable Rimulya, kasi yung punto lang naman po ni Congressman Rimulya kanina is that sinasabi walang violation. So pinoint out niya yung mismong engineer ng ABS-CBN na nag-post na ino-off niya yung signal supposedly ng Ankara. Now, Mr. Lopez is saying no, it was the signal of the other stations. na dapat, well, basically it should have been off since May 5 of this year. But anyway, having said that, Mr. Chair, naka-record naman po yun eh. Ang pinagtataka ko lang po, yung engineer din kasi, siya rin ang nag-delete nung kanyang pinost. So talagang hindi maalis sa amin at maging sa komite kasi may nag-send ng message po sa atin, kanya-kanyang may nagbigay ng message dun sa pangyayari. But I guess, Mr. Chair, yung pong sinabi ni Congressman Remulla, nagtawag naman po ng investigation sa NBI and they will give the respective report given this development. Tingnan na lang po natin doon because I would think, Congressman Remulla, that ABS-CBN would assert na hindi mali yung hindi yun violation at plus lang ginagawang violation. But from your observation, and I agree with your observation, in this particular case, na dito sa engineer ng ABS-CBN, may konti po ako nakikitang kamalian. Tingin ko talaga, yung assertion namin dati pa na ginagamit yung signal, ginawa niya. Kasi kung hindi, bakit niya po binaba? Bakit niya tinake down yung kanyang pinost? So, that's it, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to put the discussion again back on track on the points being raised by the Honorable Remulla on the question of the political bias, Mr. Chair.
Attorney Maxi, no? Maxi ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ang tanong dito, ang AMCARA and ABS-CBN was together until 2019 as a subsidiary ba? Tama ba, Attorney Maxi?
I don't think it qualifies as a subsidiary, Mr. Chairman, because ABS-CBN had a minority stake only.
Bakit nag-opisina ang AMCARA sa ABS-CBN that whole time?
Mr. Chair, the stockholders of AMCARA elected as directors of AMCARA persons who were also officers of ABS-CBN.
Which is Mr. Gabi Lopez and Mr. Freddy Garcia.
At some point, Mr. Chairman, yes.
At sila rin ang may pirma na FS nila. Financial statement nila, di ba? Sa inyong reportorial requirements, sila may pirma para sa AMCARA?
Well, not necessarily the president or the chairman.
2016. Hindi nyo ba alam yan?
As regards the signatory of financial statements, Mr. Chairman, it's not necessarily the president or the chairman who signs those, Mr. Chair.
Di ba? May pirma sila, di ba?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair.
May pirma. Yung nakita ko dati na financial statement ng AMCARA, nakapirma ron, naka-certified doon, si Mr. Gabi Lopez saka si Mr. Freddy Garcia.
They were officers before, Mr. Chairman.
So nag-opisina sila sa inyo, sila ang nagpipirma ng financial statement, ang lahat ng equipment na AMCARA ang ABS-CBN ang bumili. Except all the equipment of AMCARA Broadcasting Corporation was purchased by ABS-CBN except for the first batch of analog equipment of AMCARA Broadcasting Network Incorporated. Am I correct here?
Mr. Chairman, the equipment that was purchased for Channel 43, which was assigned by the NTC to AMCARA, was purchased by ABS-CBN because that frequency was assigned to ABS-CBN for the digital simulcast of Channel 2. Because it was assigned to ABS-CBN, Mr. Chair, ABS-CBN was the entity that imported and acquired the equipment.
Naturally, Attorney Maxi, naturally, when you are given the authority to go digital television, you will need a digital transmitter and digital equipment to do the same. Am I correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So you had to purchase this.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So binili nyo yung mga gamit na yon. Kayo ho ang bumili.
ABS-CBN, yes, sir, Mr. Chair.
Hindi AMCARA ang bumili.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair.
And hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin AMCARA ang may-ari ng equipment.
It's in the process of being transferred, Mr. Chair. The documents have been executed, except that due to the quarantine, the documents were not submitted to the NTC for its approval. But the documents have been executed, Mr. Chair.
Pero Attorney Maxi, 24 years, almost the whole time, hanggang itong the whole 2020, hanggang sa life ng Amkara, kayo po yung black timer na 21 hours a day, 7 days a week, for 25 years. Kayo po yung black timer ng Amkara. Yan ang inyong posisyon. Am I correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Pero walang investment na bago ang Amkara sa equipment.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, I didn't understand.
Hindi ka ba nagtatagalog?
Hearing resumed. Convoying. Kung mic defensor.
Chairman,
Convoy.
they seem to be very hesitant to answer questions about Amkara, and I'm being given the run around here by even the legal counsel of ABS-CBN, the in-house legal counsel. And due to this unfortunate fact, when we are trying to clarify some issues, I move that we investigate Amkara in the Committee on Good Government, or the Blue Ribbon Committee, together with the NTC's testimonies, to go to the bottom of this black time arrangement, which I refuse to believe, which they have used to vilify this committee before social media, saying that or not only this committee, but maybe the NTC, that we had no right, or nobody had a right to terminate the broadcast of the TV Plus, the digital format platform, when we all know that the franchise has already expired. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I terminate my interpellation for today to give way to the other congressmen who have been waiting also, like me, who waited for 5-6 hours for my turn. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Maraming salamat, Congressman Remulla. At meron po tayong pending motion to have the hearing of Amkara under the Committee of Good Government and Public Accountability. Yes, Congressman Mike Defensor.
On the motion for the continuing investigation in the Committee on Good Government, I second the motion, including, Mr. Chairman, the other topics that are to be continued in your Committee Government, Mr. Chairman.
There's a motion, duly seconded. Hearing no objections. Motion is carried. Magkakaroon po tayo ng hearing para sa Amkara sa Blue Ribbon Committee. Ang susunod po natin na kikilalanin na magbibigay ng kaunting pahayag ay si Congresswoman Janet Garin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. With the indulgence of my colleagues, pasensya na po at kailangan ko po kagad bumalik dun sa pagtatanong. Nagulat lang po ako kasi, Mr. Chair, distinguished colleagues, lalong-lalo na po sa ating mga bisita na mga opisyalis po ng ABS-CBN. Dahil pagkatapos ko pong magtanong kanina, airing out my personal observations as a doctor, as a mother, and as a legislator, kabilat kanan pong putak-tak ang aking narinig at natanggap sa social media. Kanina,
I wanted to comment on the interpellation of another colleague when she was asking about how news are being released. At pinilit ko na lang paniwalaan yung sinasabi niyo na it goes through a long method of vetting. Mr. Chair, if I may be allowed, there is something circulating in social media now, and we request the Secretariat to please play it. News. It was all over the headline. Garin apologizes to the Vaksha parents. I did everything to call your station. I was in touch with all the people that we can call dun sa mga numero ibinigay nyo. Kasi hanggang sa ANC, paulit-ulit yun, paulit. And if you can prove in that interview that I did apologize for the Vaksha program, I will immediately resign from Congress.
Nilabas sa Senate hearing ang mga sulat mula sa galit na magulang ng mga batang nabakuna.
Yung volume, please.
Humingi ng dispensa si dating Health Secretary Janet Garin sa mga magulang.
At sa mga nanay, patanta na po talaga, ay mo nagpapapanik na hindi ko ay patatapos po ito.
Hindi pwede po sa akin yung kumon. Kasi naproban po niya yun. Akala namin okay yung nakuna na yun. Yung sorry niya, paano kung nawala yung anak ko, sorry na lang, ganun.
On your TV Patrol News, it was all over. Okay, Mr. Chair, can we request the Secretariat to please forward it? Yan po yung kanina nung nagsasalita ako. Pakinggan po natin kasi hindi ko po nahanap yung video na ito. I exerted all efforts to look for this news, which is supposed to be archived. At nung nagsalita nga ako kanina, biglang nabuhay ulit ito. Sir, can you please play it, but please forward it to the time that I was allegedly apologizing, please. Paki-play po. Tingnan po natin dito.
At mula sa galit na magulang ng mga batang nabakunahan ng Vaksha, humingi ng dispensa si dating Health Secretary Janet Garin sa mga magulang.
At sa mga nanay, patanta na po talaga. Pause, please. Please pause. Okay. Mr. Chair, distinguished colleagues, yan po nakasulat po dyan sa mga nanay, pasensya na po, nakalagay doon. Hindi po kasi siya halata. Paki-continue po. Karing ganito magpapanik
Hindi pwede po sa akin yung kumon. Kasi naproban po niya yun. Akala namin okay yung nakuna na yun. Yung sorry.
Okay. Mr. Chair, distinguished colleagues, and to the owners of ABS-CBN, yung pong statement ko doon na dalawa, very obvious po na it's spliced. Kung pwede pong i-review nyo yan. Okay? Hindi ko siya mahanap, pilit kong hinahanap. My intention was to show it to you personally. And of course, kay Ma'am Regina Reyes, you mentioned earlier na talagang you go through a proper vetting process. While it is true that I said that if you can prove that I really said that and I was interviewed for the TV Patrol segment, I will resign. I stand by my word. Hindi po ako nanloloko. Mr. Chair, pasensya na po, nag-request ako na i-play ito dahil kung titingnan mo dyan sa lumalabas ngayon sa social media, parang galit pa ako. Pero alam na alam niyo po na hindi ako galit. I'm coming out because we want to correct things. I'm not saying that it's your fault. Ang dami ko pong kaibigan media. In fact, I have a lot of good friends, mga barkada who are, I know many of their people, many of their families. If you look at that news, obvious na obvious kasi na in-splice. Unang-una, that interview in TV Patrol was never conducted. Hindi po ako in-interview ng TV Patrol nang lumalabas dyan. Talaga pong haka-haka yan. Pwede niyo po ba ma-research kung saan po nagsimula, alin po bang forum na nagsasalita ako dyan, at tila obvious na hinati at pinagdugtong. Ngayon po, inulit po yan. But what makes me so sad, Mr. Chair, our distinguished resource person, sirs, can we go to the comments, please? Kaakibat po kasi dito, biglaan po itong lumabas. Actually, kanina pa siya. A few minutes after I interpolated, lumabas ito. And I'm very sad that in the comment section, it's full of hatred. Tila ba parang nag-aaway-away yung sambayan ng Pilipino, kasama pa doon sa pinaringgan si Congressman Defensor, si Congressman Remulla, meron pang ibang mga nilagay na personalidad. And look at the comments section. It's full of hatred because you are letting people who would like to put forward comments look as para kang masyadong look at the medyo ano lang no, kung pwede natin maka-enlarge. Ayan, nakalagay ba? No. Pati ba naman ding back siya, ibabato nyo sa ABS-CBN. Konektado po ba yan sa franchise? Walang connection yan sa hinihingi nyo. Palabra de honor, resign now. Tapos may comment, syempre hindi siya magre-resign kasi wala siyang word of honor. Resign na, bokya ka kong. Ano yung hiling mo? Ipinagkakaloob na. Resign na, now na. Resign na, ulit-ulit yan. Nakakahiya. Anong pinaglalaban mo? Okay.
Yes, Congressman Defensor Santiago.
Mr. Chair, correction. Can you strike off the record Santiago from my last name, Madam Com Secretary? No, but the Honorable Garin, actually po, you know, we've been getting that for the past month. So, wala naman po. I don't take it personal. I know where you're coming from. I understand that. Pero, ayan po yung reality naman ng social media. All I'm saying is, I think what you're saying is that it's coming from people who are probably with the group, because how can they splice that interview and come out if it was just a normal person? But anyway, having said that, assume na natin netizen talaga gumawa yan, okay na po. Siguro we just accept that as a reality, part of our
Well, Mr. Chair, the reason why I wanted to play this, to take advantage of the presence of the owners and the management of ABS-CBN Corporation, because this network, once they will be given, once their franchise will be renewed, uulitin ko po, I don't want any person to lose their jobs. It's not only the 11,000 employees that you have. There are collateral businesses, yung drivers nila, yung katulong nila, yung nagbebenta ng mga pagkain doon, yung makeup artist nila, yung mga scholars nila, marami pang iba. But the reason I was trying to open this up, sana para magkaroon ng pagbabago. Because you mentioned earlier, nothing is perfect. But that news article na paulit-ulit dati na nire-replay, that's why I'm putting it in categorical statements. First, that interview in TV Patrol never happened. For 3 straight days, while my father was fighting for his life, ang pakiusap ko lang is hanapin yung original na tape kung saan yan nanggaling para malaman natin na hindi totoo. But then nothing happened. I'm saying that not because I don't want to approve your franchise. I told you I don't have a vote yet. But our responsibility in granting the renewal of your franchise is to make sure that these experiences, especially of those who do not have access to powerful people, hindi mauulit-ulit. If you go further, grabe yung hate statements. Grabe yung mga bangayan at yung mga awayan. Why? Because your management do not, I don't know if you will have the intention, pero ang nangyayari kasi, hindi ito nakokorekt. Again, Mr. Chair, distinguished colleagues, allow me to repeat. Everybody here, we all don't want anybody to lose jobs, especially at this point of a pandemic. Pinapalabas po natin ito because when you admit faults in the system, you become stronger. You will near perfection. But in the things that is happening, ito po Mr. Chair, yung pinakamalaking impact. Kasi grabe ang paniniwala ng mga tao sa inyo. If you will say, ito ang gamot ng COVID ngayon, many people will follow. Pag sinabi nyo, oh, wag nyo itong gawin, naniniwala ang sambayan ng tao. And if you look at the comments portion, you can see the huge influence that you have. I opened that up because vaccination is a very tough job. If we vaccinate people, we reap the fruits of what we do after several years. Sa isang iglap, pwede mo rin siyang mawala. And again, Mr. Chair, ayaw nating mawala ng trabaho yung sambayan ng yung mga tao nakasandal sa ABS-CBN. But I convey this. Hindi ko naman alam na ganun pala ka grabe, no, ang mga nakikinig or may mga network or mga nagmamanman. But if you are going to look into that, trace the original interview. Una-una, pasensya na po, uulitin ko, that interview in TV Patrol was non-existent. How can I do that? I was inside the ICU with my father fighting for his life. If I was emotional earlier, it's because I see people whom I've worked with na hindi makapaglaban-laban. And I know that you can be the instruments in redeeming their names and their dignity. I am not maligning your company. I am making this an appeal na kung merong mga doktor na naglaban-laban, kung merong mga doktor na may mga sama ng loob sa iba, or kung merong isang doktor na masyadong malawak yung kanyang ambisyon, huwag natin silang payagan na gamitin yung istasyon nyo. Because you have a huge responsibility. You have a great influence. You can make and make people. For me, I will survive. Because my constituency knows the truth. But for these scientists, for these doctors, for these parents na hanggang ngayon walang closure, sa mga taong pinag-away-away, and when you mentioned that your health advisor, your public health advisor, was the same person who actually gathered, sourced out, and ambulance chased alleged Dengvaxia victims, syempre nagulat na rin ako. Kaya nga kanina nagulat ako when you mentioned a name because we least expected it from a colleague. Be that as it may, Mr. Chair, distinguished colleagues, uulitin ko po, wala pong may kagustuhang may mawalan ng trabaho. Wala pong may kagustuhang may maghirap. Mas awang-awa kami doon sa mga empleyado nyo because they cannot survive. Most of them, some of them will. But for management, with or without ABS-CBN, tuloy-tuloy po kayo because businessmen as you are, you can always find other investments. But if ABS-CBN will be granted a renewal of their franchise, mas maganda po rin on. Ang ibig lang po natin sabihin, marami pong mga maliliit na tao ang nakasandal sa inyo. Sila po ang mahihirapan, hindi po kayo. Kaya nga po ipinarating ko ito sa inyo dahil yung mga epekto ng ganitong mga pag-splice ng interviews, hindi nga ito interview ng TV Patrol eh. Again, nobody from TV Patrol interviewed me a few days and even during that day. Walang-wala po talaga yan. And I swear, before my father's grave, na hindi po ako pupunta dito and will ridicule myself. But if you look at the hate comments, ito po ay ginagawang magkakaawa yung mga tao. That is the huge influence that you have. And given the opportunity that your franchise will be renewed, please make sure that systems and processes are in place. Please make sure to make a difference. Please make sure that whenever you speak and people follow, they're doing it for the good of our country, not for the selfish interests of one, two, or a few doctors whose only intention is to malign people who are their competitors, or to malign people just so they would like to be appointed, or just to ignite the nuances among medical professionals. Kapareho po ng pangkaraniwang tao, bangayan rin po sa mga doktor. When I was Secretary of Health, that happens almost every day, that we never allow that to divide what is science, and what is not science. ABS-CBN is the key towards promoting facts and real public health information. Yan po ang rason ba't ako nagsalita kanina. Uulitin ko po, Mr. Chair, napakabilis po pala na halungkatin yung isang balita kung hinahanap mo. And whoever could have retrieved that is somebody who has access to your files. Mabuti nga na inilabas yan at nakuha ko yung kopya. Maski anong plate